But panhandling is perhaps the most public way to collect money, on a street corner with a sign. You're a captive audience in your car. Most panhandlers might look at you, might wait for a hint that you'll donate, then approach your car. That does not seem to be the strategy, though, of members of one group in Fort Wayne who call themselves the Sandbox Veterans.
They have been around for a couple of years, saying they help Iraq and Afghanistan veterans. But lots of people wonder where this money is going, and folks also wonder about their aggressive tactics, their approach to you on the streets. In a 15 Finds Out special report, Adam Widener has been investigating the real story of the Sandbox Veterans. We're calling this Patriots or Panhandlers. Adam?
The Sandbox Veterans ask for your donation from street corners, medians, and near intersections. You might have encountered them. Their style and approach is seen as aggressive, and that's where we start our investigation. Can they do what they do the way they do it? If you hop in a car with Sam Fennessy,
just kind of looking at the traffic, kind of looking around,
and come across the Sandbox Veterans,
he's weaving in and out of traffic.
You'll hear some frustration.
Then I see this gentleman standing here, probably about 6 inches away from my window. He was just kind of like giving me the eye, like, you know, you need to give me money. You know, is this guy legitimate?
His concerns are different than those of your average driver.
I was in the Marine Corps. Recently, I just got out, January 2012. It kind of made me wonder, you know, where is this money going? Are they really making any efforts to help out with our service members?
And he's not alone. Since 15 Finds Out investigated Fort Wayne panhandlers 1 year ago,
follow me?
We've received dozens of emails and calls urging us to investigate the so-called Sandbox Veterans. One of those callers,
they are very aggressive,
was Jody West. She lives in DuPont Lakes Apartments and sees the Sandbox Veterans standing near her complex's exit a lot.
They're there 7 days a week. They run out in front of you, behind you. They will run right up to your car and hold their can out. They have a lot of money. I don't think most people would have that much time to spend on an organization to collect money, and just the two same guys in the same location continuously. There's just something doesn't feel right about it.
The Sandbox Veterans have been collecting money around Fort Wayne for years, and the city makes it clear that their methods are illegal.
So if the person trying to solicit is in the street or along the sidewalk, along the park strip, in a median, those are areas that would not be allowed to try to solicit money from motorists who are trying to get from point A to point B. Our police department certainly has every right to look at the safety component. If they feel a situation needs to be looked at, they certainly will. They also would have the opportunity to issue a citation if they feel that's necessary.
And they have. Our cameras found a Fort Wayne officer confronting the Sandbox Veterans when they were panhandling around a median near Coldwater and DuPont. And that wasn't the first run-in with the cops either. Adam Silvani is one of the Sandbox volunteers 15 Finds Out has seen collecting money several times this past year. Silvani received 2 citations in the past 6 months. One for panhandling in August was later dismissed. Another for unlawfully stopping or standing on a sidewalk in December, with a court date next week.
Sir, you cannot solicit donations from occupants inside of a car on a public road.
But if it's over...
Can I see your driver? Yeah.
The Sandbox Veterans posted this YouTube video of what they call police harassment. Here's their defense.
Prosecuting attorney and the city controller said to carry this, because our state license, that's our nonprofit.
Okay.
And to carry this letter, which is basically, she's over the street. Her name's Susie Sims.
Okay.
And she said, you don't need a permit, and you guys are good.
Taking a closer look at that letter, the city official writes, quote, the Sandbox Veterans does not require a permit to collections. Not-for-profit organizations are not required to get a permit, end quote. But that hasn't stopped police from responding to complaints.
Cannot solicit donations from occupants on the road.
Unless you are overturned by the city government, that's what I'm telling you.
Okay, good enough. I'll be back with you in a minute.
I don't understand that.
City leaders have seen this video and say Silvani is misrepresenting what they told him.
An email was communicated to them that indicated that they would not need a permit to solicit funds. but it did not say that they had the right to solicit funds in an area that's prohibited by city code.
Sometimes the Sandbox veterans stand on private property, like this median in the Chapel Ridge Shopping Center. It's owned by Mike's Car Wash, but since the end of December, the group stopped collecting donations here. The reason? A manager of Mike's tells me he was hearing so many complaints from customers driving around this area, he was worried the Sandbox veterans were hurting his business. So he called the cops on him. They were kicked off private property and haven't been back since. Still, the incident at Chapel Ridge and confrontations with the cops haven't stopped the group. 15 Finds Out has spotted them on East DuPont Road a lot lately, leaving people like West wishing they would move their aggressive tactics away from her complex.
I really hope that somebody can move them to either another location or assure us that the money is going to the Sandbox veterans.
A man named Roger Locke is the head of the Sandbox veterans. In an email, Locke told me he believes the city has violated his right to freedom of speech and cites corruption. He uses as an example the fire department, which collects money from drivers in the same way during its annual boot drive for muscular dystrophy. But mostly, Mark and Heather, we wanted to hear from Locke's organization and want to know who they've helped. So I approached them last week and find out how they responded later this week as 15 Finds Out continues our series of investigations, Patriots or Panhandlers.
Okay, great. Thank you, Adam.
And we'll be right back.